While compliance might be an effective strategy, it is no guarantee of being safe against the criminal. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson out of New Orleans, Louisiana in the United States. Here we're going to see an attempted mugging of a man who is outside by his car. He's going to be very compliant, but it's not going to get him much. Let's see what happens. So you can see this guy is just unloading his car in the top right, and these guys walk, they drive by, and now they're going to stop there, and he's not paying attention to the fact that they did. You can just see kind of the glow from the taillights there as he's just not paying attention, and that's going to cost him because this guy's going to run up and raise a firearm at him. Now our victim just puts his hands up. Hey man, I don't want any problems or whatever. And now it's just going to be a sense of, okay, what do you want, bro? And the guy's like digging into his pockets to find his wallet and stuff. The guy's like, yo man, I want the stuff in your car. Hey, my wallet's actually in the car, so the guy's going to go get in it. Now what you see here is the headlights that came up is the guy that dropped him off. He went around the block and is now coming back to get him. And so our victim with hands in the air, hey man, I don't want any problems or anything like that. The guy's just demanding more stuff. And he's like, look man, I don't really have anything for you. And you can see right there that the guy shot at him and now he's going to shoot at him again. And that's going to finally drive him off. And the bad guy runs off and thankfully no one was hurt. These are the kinds of things that really happen in real life violence. If you appreciate the lessons that you get here, do me a favor, hit that subscription button and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified every day when we post a new lesson. In this one, I want to think about some significant lessons, particularly about transitional spaces and particularly there about your car, about compliance and when compliance is a good strategy and when it isn't, and about getting out of the danger zone at any opportunity. You must recognize that your car is a transitional space, friends. That's the biggest thing that I can say, especially late at night, man. If you're sitting in your car and that's in a public space, you have to recognize, look at his head is in the car and it is focused on what is inside the car, not outside the car. And you got to recognize that that makes you more vulnerable to attack because bad guys can sneak up on you. And that's exactly what these guys look like they were doing, just trolling for an easy opportunity. And they're going to roll up and see, oh, this guy's not paying attention. He probably has some valuables. Now you see here, he saw them right here. So he is paying some attention to outside and what's going around. As they come by, hey, he sees what's going on there. Now I'm not saying you have to just, give everybody the evil eye, but you do want to pay attention. These guys roll by. Are they still rolling by? They shouldn't stop and pay attention to me. They should just keep on going. The fact that they held up there and then stopped a little further on should have been concerning to him to really pay attention to what's going on. However, he didn't do that, and that's what invited the attack. He looked like food. Now, when the guy raises a gun, look how far away he is. If our victim here had been an armed self-defender, a private armed citizen, this guy pulls his gun up at about 15 yards here or a little bit more. And in that instance, if he had been ready and seen that guy coming and been able to be in the fight, who's the more likely one to have been successful here? The guy that's trying to hit somebody while he's running at somebody with a firearm, or the guy who can stand and deliver and put shots on target because he knows he can make that 15-yard hit? I put my money on the other guy who can do those things. However, he's not armed here, and so therefore, as the guy comes up, he puts his hands up and he surrenders. Compliance in that option is probably the best bet. What other options does he have if he is not a self-defender? Although right here, notice he has the car between him. This could have been a great opportunity for a surreptitious draw, for a stealth draw and a counter ambush. He could have done that here had he had the time. He had about a car length's distance and could have turned the tables. But again, this is for self-defenders, and therefore this is why I say have the attitude, have the skills, have the plan. Be ready in that moment, because otherwise you just got to comply and hope for the best against a violent felon that we already know has shot at our victim. Now in compliance, you gotta give him what he wants. So of course you got to set your boundaries. When am I not going to give him what I want? Never go to a second location and never allow yourself to be bound. Those are the two things that in my mind are leading to evil things. So I'd never comply through those. Do something to protect yourself. But instead, this guy just wants stuff. Okay, take my things. But then our guy here says, nope, once he realizes that guy's going to shoot at me, he starts taking off. And when it's time to go, he finally gets the heck out of the danger zone. But you notice he kind of hesitated there in the moment. I can't tell you enough. If it's time for you to go, go. Run as hard as you can. And don't just run away from the bad guy. Run to something safe. So then that way you get to a safe place. In all of these things, let's make sure that we're paying attention to our awareness. We watch out for transitional spaces. We know when compliance is the right thing to do, but when to get out of the danger zone to cover our asp.